Thank you. Hello everybody, it's good to see you here in Delta of Danube, in Sfântul Gheorghe. Oh my God. Okay. It was a nice evening and thanks to the coffee I'm not so green in this morning. I'm very red, so I'm fresh. And I want to present you how the museum can be a provider for the green transition. We already do that in Astra Museum, but I want to explain you how we do it. So, to do it, you need infrastructure. Since 2009, thanks to EEA Grants, we developed, I think, one of the most modern cultural infrastructure from Romania in a museum. We start with a center for restorations and preservations, and then with another project which was dealing with multiculturalism, which wasn't so well exploited on the national level, and now with this center for the regional resources. And we call regional resources, why? Because right now we are everywhere in Romania, but we are focused in our region to offer examples for the rest of the country. When we build our programs, I have to, which one? This? Okay. Gata. Nu vrea. When we build our cultural programs, we think how to educate people. Everybody talks about the green transition, everybody talks about sustainability, waste management, and so on. But for the general public, sometimes it's difficult to understand those terms. So then you have to offer examples. And in an open-air museum, huge like ours, we are very free to develop cultural programs where we educate the community. But also, first of all, after you have the infrastructure, like we've done with EEA Grants, then you have to work with the most important resources, your human resources, our human resources from the museums. Because first of all, if the people from the museums, from the cultural institutions, doesn't assume those terms, then it would be very difficult to communicate those things to the public. So it wasn't easy, because like everywhere we have skeptical people, okay, we don't have any climate changes, it's normal, the planet is in a row, and things like that. But we find the truth. In the rural areas from Romania, in the history, the people, the inhabitants, use local resources. So it's very simple then to put them to talk about the resources, how you use the resources in the past and now in the present. How can we manage with those resources in a way that they won't be disappeared in a few years? And I don't know what's happening with the technology. This is not very sustainable. Yes. So in our project, in our cultural programs, we managed to make a research in the country. So we find communities. Actually, right now we do research in Delta of Danube, which is very important for us because it's in UNESCO site. Also in central part of Romania, in north part of Romania, and in south part of Romania. And we don't go in the field just to ask people to find ethnographical stuff and things like that. No. We want to listen their story and to listen what they need to understand better those terms. And for us, it's important when we build the programs in the museum. And when you build the programs, you bring them in the museum and you talk with them, and you have to be a curator in a proper way in order to be the mediator between them and the public. When you learn to do that, then it's successful. And last year, Astra Museum had more than 425,000 visitors in the museum. So this is very important. Why? Because all our programs are for the public. So we managed to educate those people through our programs, and I hope yes, now it's working? Dreapta, dă dreapta apăs. Okay. So, this is our research program. And maybe you can ask me, okay, but you travel a lot with the car and so on. Yes, we do that with the car, but most part of our research field is walking and talking with the people. Because we need to find the resources from that region. If I have a homestead from, from Bucovina, for example, from a village there, I need to see the forest. I need to find the information from where they cut the tree for the constructions, in which period of the year, how they managed to cut it and how to prepare it for constructions, because that is very important for the future. Why is important? Because the main problem right now, when we talk about the constructions in wood, is that they don't respect the period for cutting the trees. If you cut a tree in the summertime, then the humidity inside of the wood is very high. So then you need to use a lot of energy to dry it. So you see information from the past that can be very well applied in those days in order to reduce the consumption of energy and so on. This is just a small example for what we are doing. When we talk about the preservation and restorations program from our museum, we use local materials. And I want to tell you something. In Apusenian Mountains, my region, we have there 3 or 4 families that still cultivate cereals. Okay, they just cultivate cereals. No. Together with us, we protect the landscape in Apusenian Mountains, and Eugen knows what I'm talking about. They put these cereals, but they cut them in a traditional way, and they keep the landscape like it was 100 years ago. So then, those people, because we pay them to do that, still offer us proper materials like straws for the buildings preservations, for the roofs, and for all other activities that we do in the museum. When we talk about the other materials for the restorations, my colleagues do some research in order to find the proper materials for the restorations in order not to use so much energy and to have a small imprint of carbon, because this will be the future. You know, our mission is what we will do with this museum in the next 50 years, which will be the legacy that we will let for the people who will come after us, and in 50 years, maybe we will be in the sky, I don't know where, I won't be in the heaven, I'm sure, yeah? But we have to see how this museum is restored, how it's protected, because also the authorities right now doesn't give us money to maintain the museum. So then we have to find the solutions. I think this green transition, when we talk about the green transition, about the museum, it's not just about us. It's about the people, the direct beneficiary, but also how we manage as a team to spread the message in a proper language in order that all the people to understand that. And I don't have to say to a peasant, okay, I have to explain you what is the waste management, because he already do that. In the countryside, they didn't throw anything in the past, neither now. Okay, but how can we manage to make them understand better that the waste management is not just about the food, it's about everything. It's about the clothes, it's about the instruments that you need in agriculture or in constructions, and in all other activities that you do in your homestead. So those are our programs. In our programs, each program has particularities. For example, Fair of Romanian Folk Craftsmen is the oldest event that we build in the museum. It is from 1983. So we don't just bring the craftsmen in the museum to sell the products. No, we make them to do workshops and to explain to the visitors who wants to buy an object that that object can be used in those days in the house, not just for decorations. We bring also HoReCa sector together with us in order to understand that they can use pottery stuff in the restaurant, in a pension, in a hotel, and so on. Because we talk about the craftsmen, but what we do for them in order to live in the future, in order to have them in the next 20 years or 30 years, because they are the best examples, because they use natural materials in a very, very sustainable way. Another event is Astra Rock. When we have first editions, everybody asks us, why do you bring rock in an open-air museum? I said, okay, yes, this is Romania. Yeah. Why? Because we bring another public in our museum. Because it's not just about the festival, it's not about the rock bands. It's about how can we educate people to understand those values of intangible heritage. And also how this intangible heritage can be a very good receipt for the future in order to fight against the climate changes and so on, and waste management and things like that. Because on Astra Rock Festival, we have events which start at 10 o'clock in the morning and finish before the concert starts. So we involve there more than 60 specialists from Astra Museum and around 250 craftsmen, which are in the museum. Last year, for example, around 15,000 people were in this festival, in 3 days of festival, and I think, and Ovidiu can approve me maybe. Yeah, thank you. That we manage to educate and to transmit our message to the public. Yes, we are in a bad shape right now. We are in a bad conditions right now. We didn't have in Sibiu in the last, let's say, 20 years, more than 35 degrees. Now in Sibiu it's hot like in Bucharest. I work in the museum since 2005. I didn't see those kind of problems with our buildings, with our wooden monuments since 2019, and until now the process of degradations is very high. Every year we have to change the straw roofs. Every year we have to work with other type of materials like rail, like straws and so on, and also wood. Why? Because of humidity and these climate changes and these fluctuations of the temperature and so on. So, okay, what we do with that? So, around 258,000 visitors were on those events, and we were there. So, a museum is not allowed to do only exhibitions and only fair and only cultural events without talking with the people and to have a message on each event that they've done or they want to do in a museum. Because if you only bring people to stay there like a fairy tale, you know, and just to sell the pottery stuff and textiles and so on, that is not a good receipt. That is not the future of the museums. And really, we can be a provider, and we are a provider if we want for the green transitions, because those knowledge from the past can be a sustainable receipt for the future, because now we have technology. Wow, yes, we do. But those knowledge, if we adapt it with the new technology, really can develop things in another way. In our educational programs, look, it's not just pictures with kids. It's how we teach them, how we make them understand those values, how to use the water, how to use the earth, how to use the food, and why is important to know that. First of all, because the intangible heritage is their legacy. The heritage is their legacy. We just administrate them. They have to assume from the small age till the elder, you know, the heritage that they own it. If they don't assume that, then all our programs will be, okay, I do that, I point it, good, very well, evaluation is good, next year, let's go. On cultural immersion program is the same. And you see food. Everywhere in museum you see food. Yes, you see food. Why? Because, like he said yesterday, agriculture brings a lot of issues in our planet. Because we consume a lot. Or we don't consume a lot, we make a lot of waste. So then, when you present a receipt, a traditional receipt, you present what they used in the past, because they didn't need a lot of things in the past. But they used with very, very good efficiency. What to do in a museum? In our museum, which is very huge, it's more than 100 hectares, we have to talk about the cultural and landscape programs. Why? Because we, in the past and right now, we manage in the museum, when we bring a homestead, we manage to respect a little bit the area from the region and geographical position and so on, from where the house belongs. So then, our programs is not just about the animals, it's about the people which from 2019 start to move in the countryside. You know, after that, the pandemic come and a lot more people want to go in the countryside. In 2021 was more than 100,000 families which moves from the urban area to the rural areas. So then, okay, what to do? How can we make them understand that if you move in the countryside, you don't have to build, huge houses and so on, and you have to respect the landscape. Everybody said, okay, you have to do that, rules. Offer them examples. Give them advices. Be close to them. Talk with them, because they will understand. Because otherwise will be only rules and papers, and that's it. And nothing is happening. I love these programs. Yeah, I love it. But it wasn't easy. So when we start the programs, why it's important, to educate, first of all, your team, and then to educate the community, and then the visitors. When we start gastronomical programs in the museum, it was very, strange. We bring the community with old receipts, but yes, they use local ingredients only if we go in their village and buy those ingredients. Otherwise, no, we go to Metro to buy that. No, we go to Carrefour to buy the meat, to buy the vegetables, and so on. So then we think, okay, we have a problem because we want to do those programs. They came in the museum only because we pay them. We offer them money, but nothing is happen when they go back because they still go to buy things from, from stores. Where is circular economy? Because here I want to arrive. Sustainability means also circular economy. And where is circular economy if you don't want to buy from the locals? If you don't want to help your neighbor who has more potatoes than you or more onions or more, sheep and so on. So this is also what we find out from them, and we start, okay, let's grow a little bit those programs, but let's talk with them, let's communicate them. And when they saw how many people came in the museum and start talking with them, tasting the food, then it was a change. And also because of Asociația Ivan Pațaikin, they start this local gastronomical point. Now more people who came in our museum, more communities from all Romania wants to open this local gastronomical point, which is very important for the future of cultural tourism. What about the certifications program? It's because of the last project. When we think to apply, we said, okay, what we have to do for the craftsmen. As Vegar mentioned, the craftsmen are very important, but right now in Romania they don't have any paper. So then, we are the only institutions right now on the national level, I think only museum from Europe, which can provide the certifications of the competence of the craftsmen. Why is important? Because now they will be on the market of the restorations with other type of amount. Until now, the authorities who make the public procurement, they weren't allowed, to put some high fee for the restorations. Why? Because they didn't have anything how to prove that. Now they have. So then we have a lot of craftsmen in the countryside. And Eugen maybe will tell you in his presentations, because Romania still has the most important resources in the countryside and in urban areas, human resources. We still have a lot of craftsmen with a lot of know-how, with a lot of knowledge, but they don't want to work anymore. Why? Because it's not efficient for them regarding the money. So this project that we finish right now will help them. We already managed to have 30 craftsmen with certifications, so we'll start from July another period of certifications of the competencies in the building preservations. And then nobody can say, okay, we don't have any craftsmen. Yes, you do. This is a database. Please talk with them, hire them, because we guarantee that they are very good craftsmen. For sure, lobby and advocacy is very important in a museum, because maybe you expect to talk about the green transition and how we are providers. First of all, we have to build capacity in our institutions to understand the meaning and the importance of the green transitions, and then to offer examples in the society. Because when we talk each other, it's okay, but we have to talk with the public. Because all of us, and I talk in my name, I manage a huge museum and a very important one, not just in Romania and in Europe. Which is my role? Only to build cultural programs or to build a future for our community and the future for our kids and for our family. No, ce am făcut iară? So, conclusion. You can read. I know, yes, we are a phenomenon, but I have a small movie with Casa Artelor. I still have time. Where is Monica? I still have time for a... Yes, okay, thank you, because I promise, yeah. It's just a small one. But I suggest you to come in Sibiu. Yeah, because you won't be sorry. Please, do that, okay? So I resist another 1 hour. Then I have to go to refresh myself because you will need me this evening too. Thank you. Two.
Free.
Hey.
Scopul acestei instituții culturale este de a certifica competențe pentru cei care sunt păstrători de tradiții și meșteșuguri identitare românești. Și lucrul acesta va face ca odată să poată să intre și pe piața muncii, să își pună în valoare meșteșugurile și în același timp ca acestea să fie prezervate și să poată să fie multiplicate ulterior.
În această unitate, în acest muzeu, există o echipă extraordinară care a reușit să urmărească sursele de finanțare și atunci, ca și autoritate tutelară, ți-e foarte ușor când ai astfel de oameni în subordine să vii cu cofinanțare și să susții proiecte care fac diferența în comunitate, proiecte care au un impact semnificativ în comunitate și care aduc plus valoare și cresc calitatea vieții.
Este încă un proiect de succes derulat de Muzeul Aspra și este un proiect care practic stabilește punctul de plecare pentru ceea ce urmează să se întâmple aici. Este un proiect care își va dovedi pe multiple laturi valoarea, atât prin felul în care vor fi instruiți meșterii și prin locurile de muncă care se vor crea și forța de muncă care se va crea, cât și din punctul meu de vedere, este un proiect care poate să aducă bani și pe lângă valoarea adăugată, bani efectiv în visteria Muzeului Astra, care pot fi folosiți pentru alte proiecte.
La parterul Casei Artelor o să vedeți câteva spații multifuncționale în care avem ateliere de fulărit, ateliere de țesut și de tâmplărie dulgherie, unde nu doar vezi un meșteșug, ci dacă vrei să-ți transformi întreținerea casei sau realizarea unui obiect tradițional într-un hobby, aici găsești consultanța de specialitate, de la instrumentar până la materialele folosite. Sus în expoziție, sus în mansardă, o expoziție inovatoare, nouă de altfel și foarte bine plasată pe ceea ce înseamnă expozițiile interactive în România, dar și în Europa, prezintă cum s-a făurit Transilvania prin prisma meșteșugurilor, începând de la civilizația rurală până la cea urbană. So you see another example of sustainability. The minister, she was here. Bogdan also was there, yes? So another example that they didn't use any cars to come here because I managed to have them here in the room. Thank you.